Hey foodies, welcome back to Tamara Recipes. Now let's make this refreshing soursop, ginger and lime juice. Now I washed my soursop, and as you can see guys, it's ripe. So you know, the riper your soursop is, the softer it will be. Now I am going to remove the core, remove the skin, and then I am going to show you the next step. Alright, so soursop has lots of health benefits and it's super healthy, so I try to intake it into my diet at least once per week once I can get it. Alright, because at times it can be hard to source, but at any point in time I can get one to make my juice, then I'd be more than happy to make it. Alright, but I don't like to just make it the same way all the time, so I try new things with it. Now I recently added some ginger to my soursop and I actually liked it, so I plan to share the recipe with you guys. I don't know if you'll enjoy the recipe, but I hope you will, because it was very refreshing. And you know, ginger has its own health benefits as well, and I added some lime to it. Alright, so I'm gonna finish peeling my soursop and then I'm gonna show you how I made the drink. Alright, so for this recipe I'm going to be using my blender. So I break my soursop into pieces, then I added it into the blender. To that I'm gonna add a few pieces of ginger, and I added some water, just enough to cover the level of the soursop. Now bear in mind guys that it's best to add more water, because you know, the less water you use, it's gonna be too thick and it's gonna be hard to strain. Alright, now after blending, you want to use a colander or a strainer to remove the juice. Alright, it's very thick, so I'm gonna show you what I had to do just to get out all of the juice. Alright guys, but just be patient, as I always say, and you'll get the job done. Alright, so if you have a cheesecloth, you could also use it. Now as you can see guys, I'm getting along nicely, but the soursop was too thick, so I wanted to extract all the juice. So I'm gonna add a little water, maybe about a cup of water. Alright, so after adding the cup of water, I'm gonna mix it with the soursop, and then I am going to pour it into my colander, and I'm gonna finish extracting the juice. Now in this case I love to use the blender, because you know, if you had extracted the soursop by hand, then you'd have to blend the ginger separately and then you pour it and add it with the soursop. But for me, when I just add everybody in the blender, it works better for me, and you know, I finish faster. Alright guys, but that part is up to you which method you prefer. Alright, so try to get all the juice out. So you want to use the back of the spoon just to press to get as much out. Now you want to double strain the juice, so even though you did this step, you're still gonna need to strain again, so keep that in mind. Alright, because it may have some residues in it that you want to get rid of. So guys, when I added enough liquid into the blender before I blended the soursop, the juice was way easier to extract than when I did the first piece of the soursop. It was super thick at that time, but it's thinner this way, and it works easier for me. All right. So it was easy to extract. I never had to add any more water to it. So just ensure that if you're using a blender, you add enough water. It's gonna be super thick and it's going to be so hard for you to remove all of that juice. You could also use a juicer, but because I don't have any, so I have to use my blender. So I'm finished removing all of my juice. So I have some lime juice here. I don't have the fresh lime, so I'm using the bottled lime. Now you add the lime to your liking. After adding the lime, I'm gonna add a little brown sugar, which is completely optional. You don't have to add it.